Welcome to the Yuma Sun Pages from the Past. For more than 150 years, the Yuma Sun has been telling the story of the community one headline at a time. And as we celebrate the 250th anniversary of the United States, we're opening up our archives and taking you back to the moments that shaped Yuma, big and small, historic and unforgettable. I am Mara Kanab, and today I'm bringing you the edition of the Yuma Weekly Sun from April 24th, 1942. The first headline that caught my attention is this one here that talks about how a motorist can pass through 3 time zones in 20 minutes. And the story explains how somebody could leave Yuma at noon and go by Winter Haven a little after 11 o'clock and arrive in Algodones at a little bit after 10. And so it explains here that the reason for that is because Arizona was under the Mountain War time, and California was on Pacific War time, and Baja California, where Algodones is, was in the Pacific Standard Time. So it mentions how it would be possible to eat 3 meals, each 1 hour apart, and still eat all of them at noon. Another story mentions how a body had been found in the All-American Canal, and they didn't know who the person was. They thought the body had been in the water for about 2 weeks, and then it mentions that it was either an Italian, Mexican, or Japanese. They weren't sure at that time. There's a lot of stories related to the wartime, and one of them was related to the Yuma farming community, and it mentioned that there were no burlap bags available for farmers, and the farmers used those bags for seed or grain. And so they were asking people who had extra burlap, or companies that weren't using them, if they could please make them available to farmers. Otherwise they would have to find other ways to package their seeds or grain. And this being wartime, a lot of things were being rationed, and one of them was gasoline. And so one proposal was they were considering denying gasoline to fast drivers. They were warning motorists to drive below 40 miles an hour, or they wouldn't be permitted to have gasoline. And so yeah, that was something that they were trying to impose, so people would drive slower and save gasoline. Another thing that was being rationed was sugar. And a story inside mentions that sugar rationing registration would be taking place in Winter Haven. And then notes that each person registering must have the name of every member of the family, height in feet and inches, the weight, color of hair, eyes, age, and the amount of white and brown sugar on hand. So they had to be very specific when registering for the amount of sugar they wanted. And an ad that came out in this edition even mentioned it's for a grocery store, and it mentions how the sugar was being rationed, and then noted that a family of 5 would be able to buy 5 pounds of sugar at one time to last a potential of 2 weeks. And of course, there was right here on the front page, there was an agriculture report, and they were calling for favorable prospects for crop and feed production in Arizona, and the article mentions Yuma throughout it. It mentions that the picking of grapefruits in the Yuma area had already been completed, and the quality was excellent. It mentions it, and they were harvesting asparagus. Let's see, cantaloupe, plantains in the Yuma area are heavier this year, and Yuma area is supplying most of the carrot shipments, which are expected to continue beyond mid-May. And so it's interesting to see what was going on with agriculture at that time here in Yuma. And thank you so much for watching this week's Pages from the Past. To see more Pages from the Past, you can find us on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook.